click the subscribe button and the notification bell next to it to get notifications whenever I go live. Hey, what's happening, family? It's your man, Mark Black. First of all, before we get into it, I want to make sure to wish everybody a happy motherfucking Wednesday. Hump day, right? So you know how y'all doing. You over the hump, right? You're halfway through. You know what I'm saying? I know how important it is to hurry up and get to that motherfucking weekend, right? So happy hump day to all of you. So on this particular broadcast, right? Let me first pop the title in there. I'll be honest, right? This is a broadcast I'm going to do because obviously I'm doing it, but I was reticent, and I'll explain why. First of all, those of you who have followed my work on my previous channel, right under the Mark Black channel, shout out to my goddamn self, right? If you haven't been over there and checked out some of my work, do so. Even though I'm, reformed at this particular point, there's still a lot of great content there on very many subjects, right? So please make sure to check it out. But on my previous broadcast, I never really tended to discuss what a lot of people refer to as current events, right? It's just one of those things where I felt like there was enough channels that did that shit, right? As soon as some news item hit that was hot, right? Something that everybody was talking about, you just saw a plethora of videos around the same subject. Now, there were times when I won't say succumb. There were times when I would address issues that were current event topics, right? Things that were hot and trending in the news. For example, when Michael Jordan wrote that, op-ed talking about police brutality and all that other stuff, I felt the need to go quite hard in on the paint, and in the paint on him, for rightfully so. I mean, if you check out the video, you know exactly why it was that I felt like he needed to be called out on the carpet. But usually when I tend to address current events or hot news topics, I never try to address it the same way that everybody else does, right? I like to take it and expand upon it. Like, I want to look at the news not just in microcosm, but in macrocosm, right? Take a broader view. Look at a different viewpoint that not everybody else is looking at, right? And it's not necessarily to set myself apart from the rest, but a lot of the stuff that hits the news cycle, to be quite frank, is just drivel. It's more of the same shit, right? And I don't feel like my time and yours is best spent rehashing over the same old garbage, right? Different, same story, different players, right? Same, play, different actors, right? So, but in this particular circumstance, I feel as if addressing this current hot news topic will not only get me some clicks, because this is a new channel and I could sure use them. So if you haven't liked this video or hit it with the thumbs down or whatever, if you haven't shared it, and if you ain't subscribed, please make sure you do so. Like, shares, and subscriptions are free, don't cost you shit, and it's definitely appreciated, right? So yes, I could use the views, but there is a lesson, I think, that can be taught from what's happening in the current news cycle. All right. So I'm going to address the topic today. As you can see, I can't care more or less than you discussing R. Kelly, racism, and really every damn thing else. So I want to start off by saying that as Black folk, we have a host of problems that we face, and a host of things that we should care about. I mean, our families decimated, our communities decimated, right? Our opportunities to exercise our full citizenship in this country decimated, right? We're ignored by everybody, shit on by everybody, and denigrated by everybody, right? We have a whole host of problems to face, right? As a matter of fact, in my most recent broadcast, I even discussed how none of us even want to be where we are. None of us want to be black people. And so it seems like if you were to just take even a cursory glance at the state of black America, right? There seems to be so many problems that one could become despondent at trying to look at them all, right? Education, injustice in the criminal justice system, lack of job opportunities, and lack of political representation. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But we can't actually really address these issues properly for a few different reasons. First of all, we, with our placeholder culture, think the way that the pale people, white folks, have taught us to think, right? And one of those things that they've taught us to embrace is this hyper individuality, right? This is showcased in phrases like, you don't tell me what to do. I do what I want. You ain't the boss of me. And so on and so forth, right? This hyper individuality that refuses to even see the presence of other people, to even acknowledge the effects of our choices, our lives, our decisions, our lack of decisions, and so on and so forth on other black people, right? We've adopted this hyper individuality that we can ill afford, to be quite honest. Like, we simply cannot afford to operate the same way. We lack a lot of resources that allows individuals to be able to maneuver. We lack a lot of social capital and supports that allows you as an individual to make a lot of the moves that you want to make, and so on and so forth. So because of this adherence to hyper individuality, and combine that with the rejection of collective blackness, there are things that we fail to give weight to. There are real issues that we just simply don't give the proper weight to, that we don't invest with our time, our energy, our emotions, and so on and so forth. I can't think of a worse thing that we as black people face in this country than the idea that we as individuals have to try to maneuver and survive and overcome an entire system of institutions, methodologies, policies, procedures, memoranda, and so forth that are designed solely for our diminishment. I can't think of anything that's more lonely, more painful, more tiring, more sick. Peace, Sister Shar, esteemed sister. Welcome to the broadcast. Glad to have you. I can't think of anything more draining, more brutal than for each of us as individual black people to have to face the weight of an entire nation. We have to face the onslaught of an entire nation, various ethnic groups, different social organizations and structures, different methodologies, different policies and procedures. We have to face it all, and we have to face it all by ourselves. Another reason why we can't face the problems that we have to face as black folk, as the black collective, whether we see ourselves as that or not, is we have long in our community had this penchant for placing hype over substance, faith over knowledge, and narrative over truth, right? So let me repeat that, because this is super important, right? I need you to understand what it is that I'm saying. We black people, us, the descendants of slaves in this country, have long had a penchant for placing hype over substance, right? Faith over knowledge, and narrative over truth, right? When given a choice between the facts and some drama, niggas choose drama on the daily. Like, the shit's like crack. We're addicted to drama. Matter of fact, we're so addicted to drama that when there is no drama, we'll create drama. We love this shit. We eat it up like drama. If we could have drama 24/7 as black people, I think we would be the happiest motherfuckers on the planet Earth. We can't get enough of this shit. Controversy, beef, drama. That's all us. You don't have to trust my word in it. All you have to do is just live your life and be black and observe what's around you. It's almost like we can't live when it's just peace and fucking quiet. There's always got to be some funk popping off. There's always got to be some shit going on. And if there isn't, we'll stir the pot and make some shit crack off. Right? We love a damn good story. You don't even have to tell black people the truth on shit. All you have to do is speak with these swirling cadences, investing your voice with emotional force and gravity. You need to hearken back to the greater days of our ancestors and reach for the stars, because yes, we can. And niggas will come running like nobody's business. You could be lying through your fucking teeth. I think we had a former president that proved that statement as true. Barack Obama used to come to us and give us morality lectures and shit. He wouldn't shed no tears for the losses of any of our people like he cried for those kids at Sandy Hook. But boy, he could talk real good. And niggas ate it up. We voted for his ass in droves. Under Barack Obama, SBA loans, right, the Small Business Administration, loans for black people to start businesses actually dropped. Who was the president before Barack Obama? Wasn't that Shrub Bush, right? Shrub, Shrub ya. Good old Georgie Bush. And black people actually got more opportunities for small business loans under this shit-kicking, Spanish-speaking, dirt-farming rich boy from Texas than we got from a motherfucker who's supposedly our kinfolk, our skin folk, I should say. Barack Obama told us straight up that he ain't the president of black people. He the president of America. So don't expect shit from him. But he said it so beautifully, so nice, with such grace and poise. He was so dignified in the office of the president while doing jack fucking shit for us. And yet, right now, you still have black people that argue that he was one of the best presidents America ever had. Shows you how low our standards are, I guess. So we love drama. We love soaring, emotional, sweeping cadences, a great narrative, a good story. We love our faith. We love believing that things are going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? We going to be all right. We going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? We was on some Kendrick shit. We going to be all right. Family, if you look at the data, if you look at the evidence, we are far from all right. As a matter of fact, we are far from going to be all right. But hey, none of that shit matters, right? Because it's inspiring. It sounds good. We have a penchant for hype. And the more hype that we can get, the more black people will get behind it. Hands down. So we have this warped, twisted sense of hyper individuality. We reject our inherent blackness. We put hype over reality of real shit. Like, we would rather hold the moral high ground rather than actually take some actual ground and win a victory. You know, hold a W rather than hold the L. We would rather believe that somehow, against all the face of the mounting piles of evidence to the contrary, that things are going to be okay. And you can tell us any motherfucking thing as long as you talk good. All of these things mean that even when there is something that we care about, we tend to act ineffectually. Our actions, because they're driven by emotionality, hype, story time with niggas, right? And since can't nobody tell your hyper individualist ass anything, because you know, you the boss of you doing you. Even if I have evidence to present to you that shows you the reality of the situation, you don't want to listen to it. You don't want to hear it. Now, I'm not saying that only black people are like this, but I ain't talking to everybody else. I'm not talking about everybody else. I don't much give a fuck what white people do. I don't really much give a fuck what Latinos or Asians or Arabs or Dot Indians or Feather Indians or anybody else do. My focus is on my people, my tribe first, right? The descendants of slaves, but black people in general. Us, the children of Africa and the people in the motherland. That's where my focus lies. And with us, these things are a huge issue. I remember thinking to myself about all of the different individual situations that we've seen in the media over the last few years, specifically the acts of these brutal ass pigs posing as law enforcement officers, harming, brutalizing, killing our people, right? And I kept noticing a trend, right? And I'm sure when I say it out loud, you'll feel each of these incidents followed roughly the same pattern. There was the initial incident, right? There was our brother Trayvon laid out in the grass dead. Our brother Mike Brown left to sit there in the heat of the day for 4 hours in the street. We watched our brother Eric Garner be literally strangled to death, right? We saw those pigs pull up on Tamir, and not even 2 seconds after they showed up, they shot him twice in the chest. We saw all these things. We saw Sandra smoking a cigarette in her car, minding her business, willing to go ahead and take the damn ticket. And we watched this pig brutalize her and arrest her for no reason. Well, we've seen all these different things. So there was the initial incident that occurred. And once the incident became publicized, right? Like the video with our brother Walter Scott being shot by that pig Michael Slager, right? Once it was publicized, there was outrage, both from us as black folk and from the decedent's family, okay? And we ready to ride. We ready to get out there in the motherfucking streets and make heads roll. We burning shit up. We fighting the cops. We doing the most. Some of us were even inspired to take justice in our own hands and execute extrajudicial judgments and executions of various law enforcement officers. Shout out to Micah X and Cosmo Setepinra. right? But I digress. So there was the initial incident and then our initial emotional response of outrage, including most of the time the family of the person that was murdered. All right. So a few days pass. If you're on Twitter or Facebook, a new hashtag with that person's name is created in memoriam. And we chopping it up. And then this strange little shift happens. The family, who we all organized around, right? Because this is just the right thing to do in such a heinous circumstance. Their verbiage starts to shift a little bit, right? After a few days of this being in the pale stream media, their stridency starts to fade a little bit, right? Instead of telling us to go out here and take justice by any means we can take it, they start talking about, let us investigate. Let us reserve our judgment. Let the system work. They start saying things like, this was a horrible tragedy that should not have happened. And while I don't think it was racism, right? And then shortly after that, you start seeing news reports about settlement talks, lawsuits, so on and so forth. And slowly over the next couple of weeks, the hashtags stop popping up. The outrage fades. And we promptly go on with our day-to-day living. Tell me if I'm fucking lying, family. Tell me if you don't see the same shit I see each time one of these incidents occurs. There's this initial powerful stridency for some semblance of fucking justice. And we all jump up and we, as best we can, try to get behind that shit. Only to have the family of the deceased come out later on and leave all of us flapping in the motherfucking wind. Have us out there getting sprayed with chemical weapons. Out there having directed energy weapons like LRADs and shit used on us. Out there being beaten. Out there playing prison games because we out there tearing shit up. Just leave us flapping in the motherfucking wind. Y'all tell me in the comments or if you're watching live, you tell me if you think I'm telling a falsehood here. If I'm somehow misguided. How what I think I'm seeing ain't the reality of the matter. Why is all this even important? Like, what the fuck does this have to do with R. Kelly? What the fuck does this have to do with racism? What the fuck does this have to do with anything? I'll tell you. Because we don't operate as a true collective, as a unified group of individuals, right? Then this means that we as individual black people have to gauge how other black individuals see their situation before we decide whether or not to act on their behalf. This is true in this shit with R. Kelly. This is true with racism / white supremacy / whiteism, whatever the fuck you call it. This is true with every issue that we as black people face in this motherfucker. You got a homeboy at home with his girl who abuses him, disrespects him, shits on him. And you can see it as clear as a fucking bell. You say, that flightless bird is a piece of shit. She ain't worth your time, your energy, your resources, your effort, your money. Dump that bitch off. Kick her to the curb. Tell her to kick rocks. Aw, man, it ain't really like that, bruh. You know, it's just, you know, she going through it at the job, and you know how them white folks be, and nigga, she been having a bad day for 3 years. The fuck is wrong with you? Right? You see a situation where it's clearly evident that what's happening to this person is only happening because we exist under whiteism, because we exist under racism. Bruh, that shit they pulled on you, they would never pull that on no pale people. Like, I got the documentation right here. Pale people get the loans at this rate. They denied you like 5 times. Here's the evidence. Oh, nah, man. You know, they just told me it was because I was undercapitalized and shit. You know, I just need to stack up some more racks before I come to them so I can have some skin in the game to get the loan. Niggas, you serious? The white meth head down the street got a business loan from this bank the other day. Fuck is wrong with you? See, family, I can't care more or less than you. So it's important that before I throw my ass out there, before I step up to the motherfucking plate, before I defend that sister who's getting attacked by the white man in the McDonald's, before I deal with some bullshit where a motherfucker just got shot by the police, before I address this motherfucker over here couldn't get a business loan to save their life while white people getting business loans all over the place, because we don't operate as a motherfucking collective, I have to consider the source. I have to be on some more, what you on shit. I know how I see it, right? I see R. Kelly as a motherfucking predator. And as a matter of fact, R. Kelly was a victim first and then became a predator. There's a saying in the mental health community that yesterday's victims is tomorrow's perpetrators. There's evidence to support the fact that R. Kelly himself was sexually abused as a child. Now, this isn't excusing his behavior. He's still responsible for what the fuck he's doing, right? If he's acting as a motherfucking pedophile and a molester, if he's treating every woman he interacts with like a sexual object rather than a human being, these are issues. But the fucked up thing about it is that we've all known this. If you black and you breathing in America, we've been knowing about R. Kelly's proclivities for decades. And you know what? Even the people that he was alleged to have victimized didn't even give a fuck about it. Those people sat back, got their paper, got their checks, got to live in his house, got to get a come up off his work and his efforts, his bread, and they promptly shut the fuck up. So tell me, where's all this outrage all of a sudden coming from? Why now? Why do we now have to be concerned about Robert Kelly? We knew the nigga was shady for years, but guess what? We don't give a fuck because we like his music. There's a lot of motherfuckers alive today that got R. Kelly to thank for it. And that's facts. Sure, we don't support molestation. We don't support sexual assault. But we knew that shit. We gave the nigga a pass anyway. But now, all of a sudden, the Pale Stream media is putting out this documentary, Surviving R. Kelly. You know what? I'm going to survive Robert Kelly just motherfucking fine. What Robert Kelly has done or not done doesn't mean a goddamn thing to me. And you know why it doesn't mean a goddamn thing to me? Because it doesn't mean a goddamn thing to the people he allegedly did it to. R. Kelly going around pissing on little girls, making sex tapes and all this other fuckery that we've been knowing that he's been on. Yet everybody's still getting checks. Everybody's still getting the love. Everybody's still being in his circle. Everybody's still listening to his music. Everybody's still going to motherfucking R. Kelly concerts. This nigga could do a concert right now, even after all this fuckery, and still make bank. And right there in the front row will be some of the people that everybody's trying to claim are victims of R. Kelly's abuse. So if they don't give a fuck, why should I give a fuck? I can't care more about R. Kelly and his fuckery than the people that has allegedly been victimized by R. Kelly. Fuck I look like? Fuck do you look like? You so outraged. I mean, damn. If I lost count how many posts, how many videos is talking about black people actually support molestation. Ain't that a bitch? So we don't already have enough shade thrown at us as individuals and as a collective. Now on top of that, we're all fucking sick sexual deviants who support molestation because we not out here on some full-throated, I hate R. Kelly, hang that nigga high bullshit. Miss me with it. The people that he allegedly did these things to rode with his ass and are still riding with his ass. All R. Kelly is to me is a motherfucking singer. Does this mean I condone molestation? Hell no, I don't. I'm a victim of childhood sexual abuse and molestation myself. My mother has 3 children. Well, 2 now, because my brother has passed away. May he rest. So 2 children. But of the 3 children that my mother gave birth to, all 3 of her children were sexually assaulted and or molested. All 3. Do we have a problem with sexual deviancy in the black community? On so many levels, you can't even fucking count. We do relationships wrong. We do sexuality wrong. We have some issues that need to be fixed. But do we really need R. Kelly to elucidate that for us? Do we need his situation to be the window that we now all publicly throw out our shit out there? Like, why aren't we having true scholars, teachers with data and information that are going from community to community talking about how we can change our culture to reduce the amount of sexual deviancy within our culture? Why don't we have people out here actually pushing for marriage with people rather than just cohabitation, shacking up, and random free fucking? Why aren't we putting strictures on how we interact with each other sexually? These are things that'll solve the problem, and they don't involve a bunch of public-ass confabs and drama mongering. But even in spite of all that, like I said, we have a host of problems that we face that we should give a fuck about. That we don't, because of hyper-individuality, because of the rejection of our collective blackness, because we love hype over substance, faith over knowledge, and narrative over truth, right? So our actions by default are going to be ineffective. But with that said, I think it's important to note that since we live in this hyper-individualist placeholder culture, that it ain't my motherfucking responsibility to be outraged by everything that everybody tells me I should be outraged about. I'm not outraged about R. Kelly. I don't condone molestation, but I could give less than a fuck about what R. Kelly has done or allegedly or not done. I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck. Why? Because the people that he allegedly did this shit to don't give a fuck. They sat back and got paid. They sat back and took their children, right? Because if he's molesting children and everybody in the black community been knowing that R. Kelly been molesting children and shit, molesting young women, right? Sexually assaulting young women, why with all things true, holy, sacred, and good, would you ever take your motherfucking teenage daughter around R. Kelly? But people were still doing that. People are still doing that right now. So if they don't give a fuck, why should I? If Alton Sterling can be shot like a fucking animal in a parking lot of a convenience store, we see the shit on film, but his family says that it was everything but racism, then why should I give a fuck? I'm not directly related to Alton Sterling. We share our collective blackness, and that's it. But if his family don't see fit to think that it was racism that was behind what happened to him, oh well, sorry about your loss. I have to gauge what you see your situation as being before I respond. This is a family, this is a good rule of thumb to go, to just walk on moving forward, okay? If it isn't molestation to you, then it ain't molestation to me. If it ain't racism to you, it ain't racism to me. Until you see your situation the way that I see it, me sitting there starting a fight for you is fucking useless. All this faux outrage, all this ersatz emotionality, none of which means fucking shit. Not to the people that were allegedly victimized by R. Kelly, and not to you. You just pissed off because everybody telling you you're supposed to be pissed off. Because you don't want to look like somebody. Oh my God. I don't give a fuck if you think I support molestation. I've said it multiple times. I don't truck with this shit. I've actually dealt with, and that's all I'm going to say on it. I ain't going to incriminate myself. But I've dealt with molesters before. And I'll just leave it at that. So I do not truck with that shit. I don't fuck with pedophiles. I don't fuck with molesters or sexual assaulters or rapists or none of that shit. I think that shit's heinous. And I don't deal well with people that operate on that type of shit. But if you think that I'm supposed to be all in my motherfucking fees, that I'm supposed to spend every waking hour worried about how we gonna survive R. Kelly, I'm surviving his ass just fine. If you not, let me know. If he done diddled in your drawers and you feel some kind of way about it, let it be known. Don't sit back and take checks and tickets to free shows and living up in his house and then tell me I'm supposed to be outraged behind this shit. Fuck you. If you don't see that you being victimized, why the fuck should I see that you being victimized? Nigga, if you getting brutalized in your household because you got a wild savage banshee that you call your woman, and I'm trying to tell you that your shit ain't right, and you giving me every reason in the world except the fact that she's a wild fucking savage who needs to be brought to heel, you look good being fucked up to me. If you getting victimized by whites on a daily fucking basis in every area, in every direction you turn, but when I come to you and say, hey, brother, I see that this shit is happening to you. Hey, sister, I see that this is happening to you. And you got everything to say except that it's whiteism, that it's racism. Good luck to you, house. Let me know how this shit work out for you. I don't have time for the fucking outrage. I don't have time for the drama mongering. If you can't see your situation the way I see it, I ain't got nothing for you, man. Me out here banging on the beast on your behalf in this sick ass, demented, hyper individualistic, drama mongering, hype driven, motherfucking storytelling, facing everything but reality, denying everything about blackness culture that we have. I look stupid as fuck out here picking up the mantle for everybody. If your shit's fucked up, let it be known it's fucked up and stay on that. I'm telling you, family, if I get killed by the cops, I don't forgive them. There is no forgiveness. If I'm dead, hear my words now. So they won't be able to spin the narrative later, right? They won't be coming at my family with the okie doke, right? I don't fucking forgive them. If they kill me unjustly, I want y'all to burn this motherfucker down. I understand they do black people like this. That I understand that I live under a system of racism, of whiteism. I don't fucking forgive them. I don't. They kill me. If you care anything about me and you care anything about blackness, get your ass out there and tear this motherfucker up until we get justice by any goddamn way we can get it. Those are my words. So now you have it right here live and in Memorex. So your ass can't sit here and say that, well, you know, we don't understand how Mark might have actually felt about this shit, you know, because he was... No. No, this is my motherfucking narrative. Y'all not spinning my shit. Y'all not twisting it up. Y'all not having my motherfucking memory on some fuckboy shit. I can't care more than you do. But if you care, if you give a fuck about blackness, if you give a fuck about black people, if you turn to me as your brother, your esteemed brother, and you're my esteemed brother or sister, if you see it the way I see it, then I can't care less. I can't care less. I hope this helps. I hope that maybe with all of this fuckery that's going around, you know, talking about R. Kelly this and R. Kelly that, and motherfuckers talking about this, that, and the third, I hope that this actually provides you some sort of basis on how to maneuver through this shit. Because I'm telling you, the hype train is chugging along. Just hype. Get him. Survive that nigga. Survive him. Right? Fuck all that. I don't give a fuck about anything he's alleged to have done. If they try him in court and they convict him, fine. He's been convicted in court. His ass is going to do time. They're going to take his shit. You know, he's going to get a Bill Cosby treatment. Okay? But if people still fuck with R. Kelly, if the people that he allegedly victimized still fuck with him, and there's all sorts of evidence that they did, then why should I give a fuck about it? Why, if they're not calling it molestation, why should I? If they're not saying that he's sexually abusing them, then why should I look stupid? That's dumb as fuck. And y'all look real dumb in your fees about this shit. Real dumb. I'm just saying. Family, until we change our culture to become more united, much more of a collective, right? And start operating as a unit, right? Where we care about each other's interests, right? Where I can tell you what to do and you not only listen, but do it. And same for me, right? Until that day obtains, I'm not investing in nothing that you ain't investing in. You don't have no skin in the motherfucking game, don't ask me for skin in the game. If as soon as one of your family members get gunned down in the street, the first thing you do is got your hand out for a motherfucking check, don't ask me for shit. The loss of your family member was just the cost of doing business under whiteism. Don't ask me for nothing. I'm not going to be outraged. I'm not going to be upset. I'm not going to lose no sleep. I'm not going to do no broadcast. I don't give a fuck. Because I can't care more than you do. And it's obvious in a lot of these circumstances, all everybody care about is a payday. We so broke and desperate, we selling our children to fucking pedophile stars for paydays. We putting ourselves in fucked up situations in the hopes that we get paid. Something ill happens to one of our family members and we end up burying them. We're not giving a fuck about honoring their memory by fighting for justice. We just trying to get the bag off of the blood that was shed from them. That shit's disgusting. Miss me with it. I got no outrage. In the words of Mr. Petty Pendergrass, aka Torian Rain, I feel nothing. I feel nothing. If you can't see it and the truth of it the way it is, Good luck to you. That's all I got to say about it, family. Fuck R. Kelly. Fuck racism. Fuck white supremacy. Fuck all of them. Fuck all of it. If we get together and we start looking and examining the truth of the matter, when we make the data paramount and we see the truth of the matters, and then we start turning to each other with the hand to work together, I'm on board. I'm all in. Nobody's going to be helping to bang on this motherfucking beast any harder than I will. But until we get to that point, sucks to be you. Because when you get a come up off of this bullshit, when good things happen to you because you had your draws diddled by R. Kelly, you know what I'm saying? You ain't coming to me then. When you got your come up, it's fuck you, I got mine. So don't come to me when the shit goes sideways, when the shit goes pear-shaped. Fuck you. When you out here trying to get the bag, paying the blood price, the loss of your people's dignity, the loss of your people's lives, the loss of your people's respect and esteem, you wasn't turning to me then. You didn't come to me and say, hey, I'm considering doing this. What do you think? So don't come to me now. Again, family, I hope this helps. I hope this gives you a different fucking perspective than a lot of the bullshit you've been watching the last few days. Mark Black et alia is surviving R. Kelly just motherfucking fine. Thank you very much. Matter of fact, I might turn this broadcast off and start playing some stepping. You know, just cuz. So, family, until next time, as always, I want to wish you love, peace, prosperity, and power, real power to our people.